Hey, this is Stacia, and we're going to take a look at my round 2 game from Parma on August 24th. So, if you watched the video yesterday, you know that I had a pretty tough loss to start off the tournament, losing to a much lower rated player. He's actually not, I wouldn't say he's even a worse player than me, but his rating's much lower for the moment. But I really only lost because of time management, so let's see if I could do better this game. So this one, I was facing a new opponent, never saw him before. His name is Lionel Moore, and he told me his rating's about 1600. I actually didn't look it up yet, but let's take his word for it. And I had the white pieces, so I opened with 1e4, he went c5, and I went d4. Hoping that he'll go for a Smith-Morra gambit. He took once, and after c3, I definitely was expecting, he made like a sound after I played c3, like, ooh. I love it when that happens. Like, some people are just like, oh, wow, it's a Smith-Morra gambit. What do I do? But I'm pretty sure his next move was home cooked because he played e5, which I think is a very strange move. I don't think it's a good move necessarily, but it is playable, and from what I remember, this leads to some sharp positions. So I do think I had a game in this line. He had a tournament called the Pumpkin Pie Open, which must have been in like 2019. So I may review that game later. All right, but it might even be on my channel. All right, knight f3. Now, you actually can, oh, computer says dubious. You actually can play knight f3 here, so I see the computer likes that much better. It also likes bishop c4, which I considered. But, I mean, what could be wrong with taking the pawns? I took knight f3. So I want to take back with a knight, not a queen, allowing him to develop with tempo. So he went knight f6 here, and I see we were already out of book after knight to f6. So I just want to see how this line normally goes, because I probably will see this again at some point. Let's learn at least one thing. So knight f3 is what the engine likes. C takes d4 is the most common. Knight f3 has good results for black in the database, so I don't think I'm going to play it. We'll go here. Takes. And usually, knight f3, and then usually they go knight c6 here. So that guards their pawn once, but, honestly, I would probably take. And I think I've had this position before. Ah, I see. After takes, they actually don't take my knight. They have some different moves now, and one of them is knight f6. And I think if knight f6 now, I can't go e5 with the knight here. So I could take, but I could also just develop. Okay, and it would go on from here. All right, I'm satisfied. Now, in the actual game, he went knight to f6, which is not in the database, and probably because of e5. So I definitely played e5. It just looks uncomfortable for black, and I thought if he went here, I was definitely ready to either take the pawn or play bishop c4. Both are a tempo on that knight. That looks kind of silly. I probably would have played bishop c4. A computer likes this. But I mean, I don't know why the computer likes that. It says knight c3. Okay, if knight c6, it wants queen e4. It's kind of interesting. All right, but Okay, after e5, I definitely expected knight to g4. And then it says white's better after we take the pawn and attack the knight. And then then it says h5 is a move, h5 or d6. Okay. But in that game, he played queen e7. Now, I didn't know this was a blunder at the time, and, well, I don't know if it really is a blunder necessarily. It's not like we have a move that immediately wins. But let's just call it a mistake, despite what the engine is saying. Here, I have the option to go queen e2, but that feels lame. Like in the Scotch, I play queen e7 in a line, and it's justified because white has to go queen e2 and make their queen ridiculous. So I was like, well, how about bishop e2? Renew the threat, you know? You pin, I unpin. And I saw he had queen b4 check here, but I thought, you know, knight d2, no problem. So he did play this. Computer hates it. Now, there is a fascinating line here. You're not going to believe this, but you can play this move, bishop d2. Now, you know, in the game, I'm like, oh, I can't play bishop d2 because queen takes, and I can't move my knight anywhere, and I'm going to lose my rook. So clearly, I can't do that move. But the computer says you can. It says take the knight, give up your rook, and I actually really love this next move. Queen to b3. It's a lock her up move. It's a lock her up move. It's like, hey, let's trap the queen. The queen is still defending the knight. The queen defends the pawn. The queen is guarding all the squares. You know, and we're only down in exchange. It's not like we're down a full rook. And I think, like, no matter what black does, like, we can just castle next move and really threaten that queen. So, you know, let's say black. Okay, let's try to figure out something for black. Gosh, I have no idea. I think black really wants to play d3. It would attack the bishop, and the queen could safely retreat. So, okay. But looking at this now, if d3, I think we can say who cares about our bishop because queens are better. Bishop c3. The pawn just freed up the square for the bishop. And that queen is trapped. So there is no d3, which is the only resource I see to save the queen. So, you know, knight c6, castles. I think white's just winning. So incredible move, bishop d2. I love it. I'm going to keep that idea in mind for the future. I played this move, which I guess is dubious because I didn't sack my rook. But okay, he went knight to d5. And here I definitely had the feeling that I had a good position here. So I played a natural looking move. Castles, knight c6, and knight b3. So the computer doesn't like that either. But knight b3 is very logical. Michael Jolson liked it. You move your knight, you open up your queen, you attack this pawn. We're like ready to collect the pawn if we want to. This bishop opens up too. I mean, it just looks like a very natural move. Instead, the computer wants to play a3 first. Queen c5. I do suppose that a3 is a useful move. Now, none of these pieces, and there's 4 of them, can use the b4 square. So I actually do kind of like that. But okay, in the game, I played knight b3, and then bishop d2 now attacking the queen. And I definitely was seeing that black has some issues. You know, that queen only has 1 square. And then I can attack the bishop. The bishop's attacked twice now. I thought he would go bishop e7, but he actually played d6. Didn't see that move. Now, okay. White has an advantage here. A big advantage. You know, a pretty big advantage. But I always find it difficult in positions like these to find the right way forward and keep the advantage. Like a lot of times I'll make moves that look logical, but they're not good enough, and my advantage slips away. So in this position, I had different options, but I did play E takes d6 because why not? I'm opening up the E file, rook e1's coming. The bishop will have to move to this square, which I guess is a good square. And if I don't take the pawn, you know, can he possibly play knight takes e5 or pawn takes? Or I guess he cannot take pawn takes. Oh, and that means he can't play knight takes either, because then the bishop would hang. So, you know, this pawn is doing a job, which probably means I shouldn't take it, because then it just sort of solves black's issues. Plus, wouldn't it be great to play b4? Like, it doesn't look like we'll get it in, but I am curious about the move a3. Like, if I played a3 right now, no, it's no good, because it's just too slow. Black castles and is already equal. That's crazy. Okay, so what do we do? I thought about knight g5. I thought about bishop c4, checking this knight. I thought about this move. I thought about rook e1. I thought about queen c2. And I just determined that I should just take that. So I did, and that was not precise. It's actually much better to go either knight g5 or bishop c4 immediately. So I thought bishop e6 in this position, right? And then we should go queen e1 or queen e2. So what does that do? Lines us up with the king. That much I see. So yeah, that's kind of nice, because then we are threatening takes, check, bishop back. And then the bishop is hanging because we just undermined. So I'll go ahead and show that. So we're threatening, let's say black makes a nothing move. So we could, yeah, take this, take, check. It's giving king f8, but I would think this is more natural. Wow, d7 check is the move, I guess. But I would be satisfied with this. What could be wrong with that? We just won a bishop. So this bishop's pinned. We can take that next. This looks like disaster, and sure enough, it's winning. All right, so that is the threat, and I guess black could go knight c7 here. Yeah, and well, I guess we could. I don't want to take there. I don't want to take there and allow this knight to come there. But the computer still likes this, and I want to understand why, because it likes knight g5. Why does it like knight g5? So they still can't take here, so I think that's an important point. Another important point is that the knight had to retreat to c7, to e6, and really this knight could have gone back to f6 if this pawn wasn't here, and that would defend the king's side. So the knight is not on f6 in these lines, and that is important because we're starting to filter our pieces over. And we might be, well, we'll almost definitely be attacking, I would think. So, okay. In the actual game, after he pushed the pawn, I took the pawn, which lost half my advantage. And after he took back, then I went bishop c4. Okay, so bishop e6. So this time we don't have that same, well, can we still go queen e2? Is that still a move? I would think not, because why can't black just castle now, right? So, well, and I wasted a tempo before in the other line anyway. Okay, this was a hard decision, this part of the game. So I wanted to play either knight g5, queen c2, or rook e1. Now the problem with rook e1, I think, is a little bit interesting. I want to go knight g5. I figure black would castle. Then if I take, and they take, the rook on f8 will be on f2. Notice what else is on f2. So if I move my rook to e1, I have to watch it, you know? So I don't even have this move because of knight takes. Maybe I would be able to take that knight first. But it's something to definitely keep in our calculations. But I did decide rook a1 was safe. Rook e1 was safe during the game. Queen c2. Yep, and wow, I have only a plus 0.8 advantage in this position now. And the computer likes a move that, wow. It likes rook takes e6 as one of the moves. What? Okay, what's going on here? Okay, the knight's unprotected now, but they can take, and it's protected again. So then it wants knight g5. Attacking there, attacking there. Now, if we take on e6, even if they recapture with a rook, we can take here and pin the rook. So, like, I was thinking, like, this is no good, right? I can still take. So, wow. So instead, king h8, which I don't understand, I would take. And then it says knight to f4. So the king went to h8 because of this, which I didn't bother to see. Okay. Anyway, that exchange sack is interesting. Another move the computer gives, it says we can take the pawn. Okay, let's try to understand that variation. If we take, I was looking at this with Michael Jolson. If we take, they pretty much have to take with the knight. You cannot take with the queen. And then this almost traps the queen. I think the queen would then have the c6 square. And then they're stepped into discoveries. But I don't know, because if takes, they could just take with a queen. So I don't think that line works. Let's look at it. Takes, takes. Bishop a5. Wow, it says black should play this move. What on earth is that move? And I shouldn't take it either, because they're going to go queen d6 check, I guess. So the computer found a nice way to win a pawn. Now they're still defending that bishop, and they got their queen out of danger. The c file's open. This is still an advantage for white, though. So now we go knight takes d4, which is just a recapture. So we won a pawn, but we lost a pawn. Wow, this is fascinating. And then it wants bishop e5. There's a lot going on in this position. I see a lot of moves. Like we could go knight b5, we could take here. We could take here even. But we have to watch it. Yeah, queen h6 looks like a pretty big threat, doesn't it? So if this bishop moves, wouldn't it be like queen h6 and here and check and here and check, and I don't know. I don't know if we escape or not. We have f3 and stuff, but I don't know. I don't think it looks very good. I wouldn't want to go into that. All right, so we can take the pawn. It actually, the computer likes either bishop takes h2 right now, or it also likes knight takes. And then here, yeah, bishop a5 was the move. Wow, cool. All right, well, we found that when we analyzed. That's pretty cool. All right, let's continue in the game. Rook e1, castles, queen c2. Okay, well, I had the not so subtle threat of knight g5. I want to threaten mate, and I might take the bishop and win a pawn, hopefully. That's kind of what I was going for there. But I will have to be careful because that thing I was talking about is in the position. And he went knight to f4. So I went knight g5. Okay, so I'm threatening mate. And I think he played an interesting move here. d3. Yeah, I was expecting knight to g6. But knight to g6 actually loses the game. Why does it lose the game, you ask? I'm trying to figure that out right now. Huh. Can I take on e6? Looks like I can. I could definitely take on e6, right? This at the very least must be good. We could even take with the rook if we want, because there's this going on. And now the bishop's hanging. So that's kind of a fork. Yeah, and that was it. White's winning. Okay. So knight g6 doesn't work. Maybe he saw that. So d3 is like one of the only moves. That's annoying, right? Now he's giving his pawn back, but the knight on f4 is allowing this. So I cannot take it with a queen. I have to take with a bishop. And now he has more trades he can do if he wants. And he did. He took on b3. You know, and in this position, I really thought about taking here, and I didn't think that I could do that. Turns out I was wrong. So let's understand this. If bishop takes h7 check, king h8 is forced. I would take back at that point. Now, I think I was afraid of g6. That is absolutely what I was afraid of. So if g6, we can't take it, I don't think, because takes, knight takes, right? Like if takes, pawn takes, queen check, there's knight takes. If I insert the move bishop takes f4, bishop takes would cover the g5 square, hitting my knight and my rook. So that is what I calculated during the game. Now let's try to figure out why this works. If bishop takes, king h8, have to recapture the bishop. If white goes g6, okay, g6 does look like a horrible move though. Oh, you know what? I think we have a check here. What about bishop c3 check? Bishop c3 check. Cannot take the bishop, it's still covered. And if here, if there what? If there what? Maybe queen c3 check is better. Queen c3 check. King here. Oh, what am I talking about? The bishop is on h7. So wow, that looks disastrous. Oh wow, so I definitely should take this then. Yeah, black cannot play g6, which is the only resource I even looked at. Yeah, it says bishop c3 check because this bishop is covering that. I don't know why I had a blind spot there. Definitely had a blind spot. Okay, but you know what to do here. It says this is the best move. Okay, white's winning. Very cool. So instead, black should go knight d4, but they're still worse. Knight d4. Attacking my queen. Attacking here. Maybe the knight will go here. Not sure, but also blocks that diagonal. But we should just go queen d1, I guess. This looks like a complicated position though, doesn't it? This is complicated. But I guess white is better here. Okay, good to know. All right, so in the game, I didn't take on h7, which I guess I should have. I just recaptured immediately, and he went knight g6. So here, white can win the game, and well, you know, this tournament was disastrous for me, I'll be honest, but both losses that I had against lower rated players were due to the clock. Because, you know, here, I think I could find a win in this position. I do think so. And I don't think it would take me too long, but I was under a minute and panicky already. So it wasn't going to happen. I need a little more time than that. I wanted to sack on f7. Or, is that what I wanted to do? Can't do that yet, can I? Yeah, this isn't the moment where I wanted to sack on f7. But, so I'm thinking of a different moment. There's a win here too. The winning move is bishop takes g6. Okay, what is going on? What on earth is going on here? So if they take with a g-pawn, we do have a check on c4. Oh, I see what's going on. The king has to go back, and then it's one of these things. So we hop on, and we win material. So that's pretty cool. So that's if they take with the f-pawn. They could also try the h-pawn, but guess what? I see an idea in this position. How about queen d3? Is that the top move? Yep, it is. Because we attack the bishop, and we're threatening to go queen h3, queen h7. So that wins also. So Wow, just taking the knight wins the game. Wow. Chess is so crazy. Instead, I attacked the queen. The queen moved. And I went g3. Now, I hate this move, g3. I didn't want to play it, but like I was saying, I didn't have time on my clock anymore. So I played g3 pretty fast. Because gotta do something, right? I figured I have a light square bishop. So I should be okay, but... Okay. I saw this queen e2 move after I played it. I think queen a2 is... It's not one of the moves given by the computer, but I was thinking if they take like this, now I have this queen h5 resource, which would be really fun to play. You know, it would threaten mate and attack the bishop at the same time. The only thing is, I think they have time to just retreat though, right? Like they don't have to fall for this. So maybe just bishop f4 is a move. That looks annoying. Yeah, and then if I take, yeah. It's kind of hard to get anything going now. I could still do this. It's kind of funny too. But isn't there queen h4 check now? Computer says white's winning after queen h4 check. But h6 is good. Why is this winning? I have no clue. Oh, because we do this again. And then rook e4. Attack the knight. Ooh. That's cool. And if knight g6, we just take. They take here. Is that check anything? I don't think so. Okay, the computer says rook c3. Ooh, I like that better. So I guess we have play here. I don't know if that's what we're doing, but it sure seems like it. Maybe I could also go here and try to go pawn hunting, maybe. Okay, well, at any rate, chess is hard. I played g3, queen e2 after that, and he played h6. Okay, and this is the moment I was thinking of. I definitely saw this move. And you know what? I think both are better than what I played. Why did I not play them? When I had my lesson with Calvin Blocker, he brought up something very interesting for me, and I don't know if you guys would have this problem. But I have a confidence problem. When I go over my games, I'll see the right moves, and I won't trust myself. That causes me to use more time, and sometimes it causes me to not play the move. So that is a major problem. He said he wants to see me play what I calculate, and if it's wrong, it's wrong, fine. Who cares, you know? But play it. I need to trust myself, he said. So, yeah, look at this. This wins the game. I definitely should have played it because my thought was, you know, if knight takes here and rook takes, I can take the knight. And, you know, I just want a pawn. What could be wrong with that? And the other thing is, if here, you know, that's a fork. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, how could this be bad? So why I didn't play this is beyond me. I think I wanted to get a checkmate or something. So I decided to keep my knight. I thought it would be harder for him, but it's harder for the person with less time. Take my rook. Yeah, so here I was very low on time. I had to kind of reconstruct this part of the game. So that's a blunder. I thought that was an interesting move. Because if takes, I thought rook c5 was annoying. But it's not that annoying. Okay, now the game's equal. But if you saw the graph for this game, it's like all over the place. Queen d1. I didn't know what else to do. It says queen e3. So I'm supposed to just give that up. That's okay. I guess so, because I have rook c8. Oh yeah, I have rook c8. But couldn't he trade first? Like, couldn't he go here first? Yeah, I was like, wait, interference, but the knight's got it. It's okay. Then here, attacking the rook. It says rook b5. Wow. Queen e6 to defend the knight. Yeah, I can't play positions like this with no time. All right, well, this is what happened. G3 got me in the end because these knights, you know, you're just seeing what happened on the board. Imagine what was happening in the lines I was looking at. These knights were always coming in, and it was very hard for me to untangle. Here, I was going for a cheapo because I thought he might try to win something. But I tricked myself because he has double check here. I thought knight h4 check was just crushing. Like, what do I do? Because next queen g2 is coming. And since it's double check, I have no time to take the queen. There's none of that. So I was going to go here, I guess, and run for my life. Oh, I didn't even see this, though. That's mate, thanks to the knight. So that would have been awful. Instead, he moved his queen. Can't believe he did that. Like, I think this wins, too. What's wrong with this? You know, it's kind of the same deal. That's checkmate again. I didn't even analyze that move. I looked at this move. Oh, I guess this is winning. But that's why I thought this one was... I mean, I'm still lost. Yeah, absolutely, I'm lost here. Definitely. So... I couldn't recover any moves after this, but it did actually go into an endgame where I was a piece down. And I tried to play for stalemate. I played to the end, almost the very end. But there was no stalemate, and I lost this game. So unfortunately, this is becoming a bit of a losing streak for me. I had a rough tournament at the Joe Young Memorial, but at least I was playing up there. Now I came back to Parma and lost my first two against a 1400 and a 1600. But in both games, time was a major factor. So, you know, I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to share it with you guys so you can help keep me accountable. You know what I'll do is start a video series. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I could start a video series called Use the Clock as a Weapon. That would be copying off John Bartholomew, though, so I'll call it something else, but I want to use the clock as a weapon. That should teach me to at least stay equal on the clock then, you know? And I can play more practically, I think, if I really focus on it. So we're going to build good habits and fix this time issue I have. I think if I do that, I will go up 200 rating points. I really believe that. So it's time to get to work on it. So there was one more game, and that one went a bit better. So stay tuned. I'll be back tomorrow with the final game. Thank you.